world around. Without and live our worldwide vision for time. Hello, hello. Okay. Mr. DJ, I'm on the replay. Mr. DJ, I'm on the replay. Okay, I don't know if we are going to have a lot of people joining today, but hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the Woumb Story Support Group. I changed the name, but I'm excited for you to join us so as we can actually decide on the name together. I'm Bekwadi BITO, the founder of honestym.com, a social business for peace of mind and among ourselves. And I'm also the initiator of this group that I pray turn into a women's circle. Woumbman, actually, it's a woman circle. It's really about the womb. So if you have a womb or used to have a womb, this circle is for you to have an hour a week or so where we can just share about how we feel and just be in our guts, which are our womb, and to share a story around that and heal and unlock anything we're trying to unlocking, especially if we are in business, just like myself. If you're a solopreneur, just like myself. If you are like a mompreneur, if you're doing all these things, if you're just a human being who's highly sensitive to everything that's going on the planet right now, and you're trying to make a change, but still you feel stuck. This is all also about that. This is really about how to just have a safe moment, safe space and safe moment around creation and natural creation, and just sharing our stories in a way that will allow us to just keep going during the week, feeling lighter, feeling like we belong to something, and feeling like we're supported by other womb sisters and brothers. And yeah, and just have like that very healing and honest and positive and peaceful, but also truthful energy. All emotions are welcome in this group, including anger, including sadness, including all the emotions that I've seen other groups that I've been on trying to be like, oh, you don't have to identify with that. I mean, I believe in the whole. So anger and sadness and disgust are also part of the family that I am. I am a whole family, just me. Bekwadi BITO Adriana-Sophie have 4 names. And some people have even more than that. So anger, sadness, disgust, rage, whatever, they're part of the family too. They also deserve and have the right to have a safe space. So this is the space also for that. This is not a space to pretend. This is not a space to pretend. This is not a space to pretend. This is a very, very free to be honest space, because that's what I am and that's what I do. The free to be honest lifestyle, FTBH life, hashtag FTBH on social media, hashtag FTBH life or FTBH money, FTBH love. Free to be honest, free to be honest, free to be honest. And that's exactly why I started this group. I have to be honest, for today, I was not really great with times, because this amazing idea that I had the honor to be inspired has attracted women from my network, and it means women from Australia as much as USA, as much as Europe, where I am. I am right now in France, so I'm on Paris time zone. It's already 2 p.m. for me. But I know it's very early for the American sisters, and it's very late for the Australian sisters who have answered. And thank you for answering that call. So I'm still figuring that out. Although I'm gonna keep saying that this is not my space or my group, this is really a co-creation. So I'm really praying that with time, each and every one of us who are interested in that kind of space and that kind of checkpoint or breakpoint or save point once a week. We'll also take initiative and be like, oh, I really love the idea. Why not do it on a Wednesday with all those other people who are interested or whatever? So me, I like to check in on Mondays because it helps me launch my week. That's why I'm happy to do that on Monday. I prefer checking in the morning, but because I want to connect with my international, global sisters and womb brother of planet Earth, or womb people, womb human, you tell me how you call yourself as long as it starts with the womb. If you have a womb or used to have a womb, this space is for you. If you have a womb or used to have a womb, this space is for you. Um, so yeah, that's really a co-creation that I'm looking for. I am a natural born leader, and that makes people kind of follow my lead all the time, which is amazingly weird. Because when I want people to follow my lead on honesty and peace, nobody's following. But when it's time for things like that, where I'm like, that's a space for me to actually take off the leader, the like unrecognized leader, whatever cross that I have on my shoulder. And now everybody wants me to lead this shit. And I'm like, I'm not going to lead that every day. So that's the kind of space inviting you to join. So as we can co-create it together, I'm meeting amazing women on my journey. I'm also meeting amazing womb brothers. I'm especially talking about born women or born girls, people born with womb and external female genitals, but who decided to transition to becoming a social man or a social boy. That's also these people, we call them transgender, I think, today. But I love when people like tell me how to call them. I think it's way more empowering. Because I'm not part of this group. Although I believe I'm a man instead of a woman body, I am so grateful for my woman body. I have to admit I am. It's a body that is very expensive on this planet, but it's a body that is the body. All of us comes from a womb, whether we like it or not, whether you're a boy or girl or whatever, you probably came out of a womb at some point. So I'm grateful that I have that kind of power, but I can understand that it's a very heavy power, and I can understand how hard it might be to have this power taken away from you for any reason. One way or another, telling our womb story is very empowering. I learned that with Queen Afua. Please discover her. Queen Afua is an African queen. She's an holistic healer of men and women, of families. She's amazing. I really needed a safe space for Black women or Black and brown women. Anyway, for people really close to me in my culture, but also international people, not only African people or something like that. And she has created that kind of space. I've just tried it a little bit and it was already amazing for me. So it's been very inspiring because I've been very on in my head for most of my life. And I could succeed at everything I wanted to, but it was never sustainable. And also I was never truly happy on a daily basis doing it. It was also always coming with a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of bad being, a lot of shame, a lot of anger, a lot of whatever, but not everything I was expecting through success, which explained also why I created honestym.com. When was that? 7 or 8 years ago. Okay, you know what? Because we're waiting for people, and I'm not sure anybody's gonna come because, as I said, I was not really good with pushing people so as they know the time because it takes a lot of energy. It's gonna be written, but that's HONESTI. No, that's a Y. M.com. If you're wondering what I'm saying when I'm saying honestym.com, I know not everybody is used to my accent, and also I know my accent changes depending on my mood because I speak so many languages. And the reason why I speak so many languages is because I take on people's, like when I connect with a person, I will take their expressions, I will take their way of speaking. So I'm basically like those comics who can just imitate a lot of people. So depending on how I feel, depending on what part of my own identity I'm in, my accent can be different. I don't know if you can hear the French because I'm a French, I was born a French speaker, but now that I'm really analyzing my childhood, I don't think I was born a French speaker. I'm not realizing that I was probably speaking, at least my grandma was probably talking to me in my mother tongue when I was a little girl. But knowing myself, I was probably answering to her in French or something like that. So let's say my mother tongue is Duala, which is a language from the seaside of Cameroon in West Africa. I wish I had a map to show that you actually I do have one. And actually I did do something amazing that I invite you to do as well, which is buying yourself a journal to just start a new chapter, a new book. Basically, it's not even a new chapter, a new book in your life with this circle where your womb story is at the center and you reconnect with your womb energy. What I call the womb energy, and I would really love for you to tell me what is the womb energy for you. If you see this video on my YouTube channel, because I'm going to upload it in my YouTube channel afterwards so as I can keep calling up on you to join that womb story support circle. I invite you to just put in comments what is the womb energy for you. So yeah, just put in comment what is the womb energy for you. And while I let you take the time to reflect and think about what is the womb energy for you, I'm gonna go and grab the journal that I just bought, and I'm so proud and so excited about this new book that I'm starting by having a new notebook. Yeah. Oh, oh, come on. What's written on it is let's write. I don't think you can really see it, but you can see something. Let's write. And green is a very great energy to me right now. I'm looking for peace. I'm looking for settlement. I've been looking for myself. I've been battling my own battles, my inner demons, everything live, and shared all of it on my social media through my hashtag journey from hate to peace, journey from honesty to peace, since 2015. So I'm so grateful now that I'm at a stage where I'm really entering the peaceful part of the journey, because the beginning of the journey is really, first of all, honesty is really great. That's why the first edition of the age book that I wrote with the title From Personal Reflection to Collective Reflection, we can go from honesty to peace. That's the idea behind the book. That's why all the material and stuff was great, to invite you to invite myself first and you as well, to just love your honesty, even if some days it's going to be white and beautiful as peace, and it's going to be some other day black and hard, just like hardship and pain and rage and whatever, or sadness, or even will to die. I've been willing to die for most of my life. If I can't say all of my life, it's my first year being free of this need to just leave this planet, me leave this world. That's the first year. I just celebrated it. I just celebrated that my first rebirth birthday, my first rebirth week. I called it my birth week. So yeah, so I did write a book and stuff, and having a notebook is the beginning of any kind of book you want to write, whether it's a book just for yourself or a book that you want to share with people. And I was telling you about my accent and myself, and I took it hoping, oh, can you see something? Yeah, it's not that great. Okay, Cameroon is this country right here. This one? Yeah, is it? Yeah. I've probably got to color it at some point. My little giggle is really annoying. Anyway, so that's Cameroon, and that's my name, Duala. Duala is the big city on the seaside of. It's the economical capital of Cameroon, but it's also like the capital of the seaside region of Cameroon. We are called the Sawa people, so that means the people from the water. So we're the water people. Are we the water people? I think Nakia in Black Panther is actually part of the water people. I think I got that from the first one, which might explain why on the second one. Do I spoil you? Oh my God! I saw Wakanda Forever yesterday. Woo! need to eat first. But yeah, I definitely need to do a live about the fact that I saw Wakanda Forever yesterday, and I definitely need to share the debrief with you. Damn it. Wakanda Forever! But I really like, oh my God, the first people of Latinx America. Oh God, this movie is something else. Yeah. I need to do a live on you about that. Anyway, I'm from the people of the water in Cameroon. My name, and we're very, very simple because everything about us is called Duala. We are the Duala people. The city is called Duala. The language is Duala. Everything is Duala. All Duala, everything. So my family name is in Duala, which is probably what my grandma used to speak to me when I was a little girl. She was with me. So grateful I could have those moments with her because she died. I was around 10 years old, I think. So yeah, I miss my grandma now. My uncle died last week as well. Oh yeah, that was this. Oh, that was more than last week. That was now probably 10 days ago. Anyway, death everywhere. Wakanda forever. I can see that in this new Wakanda, but I don't want to spoil it for you. But you're probably gonna cry a lot. Chadwick. Anyway, Bito Bekwadi, which is my family name, which is my legal family name. I'm not trying to hide behind nothing. I am, I don't even have hair to hide myself. This is me, and I don't wear makeup or anything. That's me. What you see is what you get. Anyway, Bito Bekwadi, which is my legal name. Bekwadi is how people who truly love and see me will call me. But feel free to call me whatever. If I don't answer, don't be surprised if you call me bitch and I'm like, not answering. It depends. You can call me bitch and I love it. Depends. Anyway, Bito, it means women. And I didn't say woman, I said women. Bito in Duala, the language I just introduced to you using Wakanda Forever and a word map. So as you know where it comes from, because you're probably concerned, you probably have this DNA inside of you, especially if you're not Afro-American. Bito, B-I-T-O, women. So I'm believing that's part of the womb energy we were discussing. So have you put in comment, what is the womb energy for you? So I guess me being named Bito from a mom whose name was Bito, from a people who's in the seaside at a very strategic point where like slaves and stuff, I mean, African slaves and stuff were taken. I feel like that's a good start for questioning what is a womb energy. And that's only one part of my name, plural. Then Bekwadi is something more interesting, and it could be a lot of discussion because if you ask to a random Duala what Bekwadi is, they will tell you that it's Bekwadi is the blah 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 women would do, or they're going to tell you that it's stories. It's actually a story. If you say I don't want to hear about this story, you would say I don't want to hear this Bekwadi, because the B, just like in Bito, is plural. So Bekwadi without the B is just a story, some speaking, some like really some gossips. Yeah, that's what it would be in English. Bekwadi like that popularly would be some gossips. If you go a bit deeper, actually no, it's just some gossips. That's just that English translating makes more sense than French translating, because French would put the idea of problems. Bekwadi, especially if you put it in plural. I think that when it's single, people would just be like, it's a story, it's a gossip. Like I'm gonna tell you the story of. I would use that word. The word in how you call the opposite of plural in singular is way less heavy. Yeah, I'm a French. The H can come and go on. I wish I was Spanish. I would be like heavy, honesty. That's how Spanish French were speaking when we were in an international context speaking English. Anyway, told you. My name singular is way less heavy. Like the plural of my name is not only plural; it has a complete different signification. Because one story or one gossip is kind of okay, but when you put it in plural, it's something like there's this guy who did something amazing on Instagram that is called Teach Me Duala, at Teach Me Duala. Oh, somebody's here, Mary. Oh, and I was about to disconnect myself, but is
Yeah,
Mary.
I apologize. It's early morning and
Yeah.
it's
It's
transition time from school to home. And so yeah, I apologize if I missed the group event, but
no, I
yeah,
didn't even expect you to connect because I was like, it's so early and we didn't. So I was just speaking with myself, and I'm so grateful you're here.
well, thank you. I'm grateful to be here. I wish, like I said, I sorry I couldn't jump on earlier. I was just getting up, checking in with the family, making sure that, things are going okay, and found out that at University of Virginia, which is in our um, a big college in our town, had a shooting incident, and at least one or two shooters that are actually, one of them is students at least, is at large, and they shot six people yesterday on campus. So they have decided to close the schools until the shooter is caught.
Dang.
So, and that's bringing this closer to home because I'm telling you, usually you hear it like in several
Yeah.
states away, not in your own hometown. So it's a bit of a shock, so, to say the least.
A
But
bit, yeah, it's a huge, like, yeah, wow.
it's real. It makes it really realistic. Um, so keep them in your prayers when you can. Because I don't know if they're alive. I don't know any of the details. I don't know.
Is your kid at this school right now?
No, he's at home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
But
the
other kids are there or something like that.
no, the people that are at UVA might still be there, but the problem, because it's a university, they and most of them live on campus, but
Yeah.
the ones that live off campus are not probably. But Charles is at home. He's in high school, so all the schools, local schools, canceled school today until they can get a good grasp of
On
the
the
shooter
shooter.
situation because they want the kids to stay safe. And I totally get that. That's actually a smart move on their part. So, did you have anybody at all before I jumped on?
No, no, no. I was just making, I was speaking so as I will use the beginning of the video to just put it on my YouTube and just call on more people to join the group.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was
Gotcha.
doing. And I was saying, I don't know if anybody's going to come because it's very early. So I was explaining all these things and I was explaining my name and trying to introduce the idea behind the group. But because now you're here and I'm so grateful you are, do you want us to pray about what you just said? Because it's heavy. I feel like praying, to be honest.
I think we need to. I think there's some things going on in Charlottesville that really makes me concerned because we're generally a peaceful town. We've only had a couple of instances in the past that were kind of, concerning like this, but this one's definitely unique. And I think we need to put a prayer of protection around our city as well as, the US. I think there's some things going underneath the surface that are just bubbling up. And unfortunately, this is one of them. So yeah, that would be great if we could take a moment and just make a prayer. And for those who are watching, if they could also pray for the US, because I think we're all going through some changes because we just literally had a vote for the new governors in all of our states. And so there's some changes in the political arena as well, into the local governments. And so, and next year, I think no, in 2 years, we're voting for the president. So, yeah, I think we just need to have a prayer for our country and our city for a few minutes, for a moment. Okay,
Do
so
you want me to start or do you want to start the
go
prayer?
right on ahead.
Okay.
I'll let you lead.
Oh my God, I'm going to be praying in English. Okay, I'm going to do my best. Don't be scared
It
if
can
the
be short.
if the language is changed. I'm gonna do what I can with the word that comes to me. Okay, heavenly, you know what? Heavenly Father, Mother, heavenly ancestors, you see the state of our entire planet right now. I'm right now with Mary. who has been sharing her story with me for the second time today. And thank God, like everything's going to shit, let's just be honest. We just need you to come, first of all, put peace in our hearts and put faith in our hearts so as we stay strong, but I mean, peaceful and faithful while all the crazy is happening. Today, Mary is sharing about with me about this like University of Virginia, where some young kids they took guns and they started to shoot their brothers and sisters in a place of learning. God, this is too much. This is way too much. We need you to come and help us stop all this. We need all this to stop. This is way too much. God, you know me. I've tried to fight with you, and I got to understand that this is your planet and you made it a planet of light. We are now on planet Earth. It's a planet of sun. The sun is the light. This is not a planet to kill people. This is not the planet to destroy physically or spiritually anybody's dream. When we start having our kids killing one another in the place where we're supposed to teach them to love one another, we need to admit that we are doing a bad job. Let's just be honest about that, God. I am honest about that. I'm not proud of my generation when I see the consequences on our kids. Oh, please, God, come and help us become better. I know you've showed us many times and you send us so many good examples. Oh, please, God, help us focus on those great examples that you sent us. Yesterday, I watched that movie, Wakanda Forever. It's a beautiful movie. And I cried because there is so many reasons to cry. But look at this country, America. America, they are the place where everything went to shit. Like, oh my God, the entire humanity went to shit in that place. And look at what they're able to do. They're able to heal. They're able to love. They're able to reunite. They're able to be a very, very, very good and amazing example for the entire planet. Only them can do that. They are the leaders of our planet right now, whether they're right or wrong. And they have the best things ever. A lot of things that I've learned and that have helped me heal come from this place. And now very close to their capital, very close to where all the decisions are made, everybody is shooting one another. Kids, God, we are calling up on you. So as you reactivate us, the Woumbman, you gave us the strength and the possibility to create life. Mary shared a story with me. She got a kid when she was at an age where most women wouldn't even believe it's still possible. After she went through so many things, everything's possible through you. Please keep reactivating the good in us. Keep reactivating this energy you gave in us, Woumbman, the people you gave womb. So as we stay united together, we don't look at what makes us different. We look at what makes us united for ourselves, but also for our kids and their kids. Shooting is not all right. Fear for moms, dads, kids, brothers and sisters, babies, everybody is not all right. Please heal the hearts of the shooters. Make the shooters realize that what they did was not the right way. And whatever hurt, explain why they did that. Please heal it. Heal it first. Then heal our hearts, us, the people who have been scared to death, and the people who have lost maybe their kids or their loved ones today, yesterday, and tomorrow, because it's not only about USA. This is happening all around. I have had some crazy stuff happening just down my flat a few days ago. Please heal. Heal the wounded, heal the hurt, and strengthen us, the strong and the loving, so as we can keep the work of healing the entire planet and never let that dark, bad, killing energy come to our planet of light. Take all this bad energy and send it back to whatever planet they're coming from or galaxy. We are in a galaxy of sun and we know it, and we thank you because you will never allow us to forget that. In all the big, important ancestors we prayed, obviously Jesus, but all the others too, all our ancestors that have made this planet amazing and sustainable all this time. We have prayed you, and we are really, really, really sure, and we are confident you have heard our prayers, and it's already done. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. I was laughing at some of the way you put things because it came out so unique. So anyway,
Oh, that is my path. And I'm trying to, and I keep it simple because you're there. Oh my God, when I have to say something, I'm like saying the shit I have to say. I'm like, you know what is in my heart. There's no
yep,
point me trying to turn it around. I'm like, this is shitty
yep,
energy and it doesn't belong to this galaxy. I mean, take this energy away.
I totally get that. But it is very much appreciated. And you're right, there is just no sense in the school shootings or anything else. Um, and yeah, I think you're right. I think everybody is hurting because that would explain why people would start that in the first place. So yeah, so very well put. So what happened in your building? You mentioned that there was something that happened in your building.
Oh God, I don't even want to start this because I didn't want to. I wanted to listen to you first, but it's just happening on the entire planet. Like, whew. But because we are on the day and the space, I personally used to just like also heal myself from what I've been through the week before. I'm personally now that I'm openly doing honesty, love, justice, and peace, and it's been what 7 years, and now that I'm at the stage where I found my own peace, like hell is just coming down on me. And my uncle died on Friday, the I think that was the 3rd of November, 10 days ago,
I'm
something like.
sorry.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm not sorry he died. I mean, he was more than 60 plus, and people in my family usually die around his age. And he's done a lot. He's done probably too much. He needs to rest. I'm really happy for him, to be honest. What I'm sorry about, and thank you for being sorry and for your compassion, is the way my family react to death, where even though we have a lot of deaths, we have way too many. And that's why I became who I am now, because I was like counting the deaths, and like on the book that I wrote, that's something I write. I write all the names of those who are dead and that I was close to. I'm not even talking about all that are dead and I knew. I'm talking those I was close to. And this uncle I was close. Um, and basically last Sunday, so not yesterday, but a week ago, because on Sunday I'm silent. So Sunday is silent Sunday. I just stay silent. I read some verses or some like spiritual stuff every 3 hours. I pray a lot. I try to only listen to spiritual things. And I was doing that. Obviously, my uncle is dead. And because of the work I had to do, I'm not speaking to anybody in my family. So I'm just staying in my home, mourning my uncle instead of going seeing my sister or trying to talk to my mom because they're all going crazy. I think like it's the fear of death. For me, it's a lack of faith anyway. And what happened a week ago is while I was just trying to mourn, but I was feeling so lonely that I started a live on my Facebook actually. And while I was doing that live, the landlord of my apartment started to bang crazy at my door because this guy is completely abusive. The apartment is not in it's not legal because it's not safe. The apartment is really not safe. I can make a bomb in 2 seconds with this apartment because there is a gas bottle. I don't know if you still have this in America, but I don't think like I think at my age I shouldn't even know what this thing is. Yeah, because
Wow.
this is a very high security safety risk, and it's like 10 euros to change. I mean, when I was a student, 15 years ago, I was paying my electrical stuff for 10 euros. I don't see why you would have an apartment with that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And then you're gonna say, oh, Muslim, they make bombs. I don't even need to be Muslim or whatever to make the bombs with this. You know what I mean? So this guy is really abusive. He makes us do stuff in the building that is not our stuff. I'm not renting a building. I'm renting an apartment. This is not a shared house. And he's abusive. This guy is abusive. He probably beats his wife. I wouldn't be surprised. Uh, when you enter the building, there is no light. You're basically in the dark. You can be, yeah. And instead of putting light, he put camera who can see in the dark. And I'm like, what is the purpose? Are you trying to make a porn movie? Are you trying to make a horror movie? I'm confused. Why wouldn't you pay for lights, but you would pay for a camera who can see what's going on in the dark? What the hell? So he does that kind of weird stuff and nobody says nothing. And you know, here in France, we don't even have the right to say the word community. They say community is racism or whatever. French people are really high crazy. Like, I don't think you can begin to understand French people, because for the rest of the world, French is this, oh, l'amour is amazing. No, those people are the continuation of nazism. And what I'm living here in this countryside of France, it's not even about Black people. It's about what I think you call indentured white people, something like. And they're really like, they're making nazism, so what Hitler did, on these people right now. This is crazy. So obviously, I cannot accept that. First of all, I have a big mouth. Second of all, I'm an engineer. Third of all, I'm trying to pray, my God, or whatever, mourning my uncle, and you bang on my door. I cried and stuff. That was scary. I was like, I'm not gonna answer. I'm not gonna let this evil enter my house and stuff. And I could stay strong. And I've never been strong like this before in my life. So last Sunday was very intense for me. I'm gonna put that video online when I'm ready, because it was great. And the video is amazing. Because after that, before that, I was laughing, and after that, I keep laughing, and I was like, God has really restored me in a way where I'm just funny all the time. that's that's my new superpower, but it definitely put a toll on me. So I spent the week being in fear of staying in my apartment. So every night I was like at the restaurant next door, staying with these people because I couldn't stay at home. I live alone and stuff. I'm really scared. I was really scared. And yeah, and all this happened, but I did succeed in getting my bathroom fixed by a professional. So now I have, because I didn't have cold water, so I spent the entire summer with crazy hot, burning hot water. Whereas I have a trauma because when I was a little girl, I think he had the kind of stuff we had at home when I was a little girl, because I got burnt. You cannot see very well that I have the mark. So when I was 2 years old in Paris, I got burned because of that kind of old-fashioned robinetry or whatever you call that. But now I spend my entire summer doing my fire. I think it's the fire baptism, because now I'm not that scared of hot water anymore, because I had to deal with it for 2 months or 3 months or whatever. But now a professional fixed my bathroom, so I'm happy about that. And this weekend, I did my ritual as usual, and I had planned it for a while because this is my birth week, my rebirth week. No, my rebirth, yeah, my rebirth week. It was my rebirth week last week, because I think I told you 1 year ago exactly, I failed at killing myself. God was like, no, no, kids, you're gonna live, you're gonna be happy. Don't die now, you're not dying. So I was celebrating my life while I was mourning the passing of my uncle, but he gave me life too. He gave me a lot of things. So I went to a spa hotel for 2 days this weekend, and it really made me feel better. I also tried an hypnotherapy, a new hypnotherapist. She's part of the age community, my community, the people who bought the honestym.com book, the book where I explain how with my life I turned honesty into peace. And I'm really feeling safer. I'm not feeling safe yet, but I'm feeling safer. And when you tell me stories like that, or people here, because people here have crazy story, just like this woman, I want to share about this woman that I met, and that's where I bought those earrings. This is the tree of life, and this is the butterfly for freedom. And the woman who was selling, I was looking at her, and she had that kind of energy, and I asked her a question, and she almost killed her husband this year because she found out that he touched their two older daughters, and they're like, yeah, 19 and 17 or something like that, and he touched them and stuff, and I think she didn't know, and when she found out, she wanted to kill the guy, and she was stopped from killing him. So now he's being processed, like I think he's in jail where everything's being processed, but she was like, everybody abandoned her, like nobody's on her side and stuff, and she's now with her kids, and like she's being, she's being a strong mom. Like moms have crazy stories out there, and I was really grateful that I now have the energy to hear those stories and offer a little space where we can just share, and have this space where we are together. Like I don't want her to feel alone in what she's going through. I don't want to feel alone in what I'm going through. And right now I don't feel alone because I have my God, but I also need my sisters. I also need other womb stories, and it's been happening. So I'm very grateful about my week, even though it's been very intense and there is so much violence here on a daily basis. Like, but still, I'm confident that it's just the door to something better. So yeah, so that's the violent stories are so much. I'm at the stage where I don't even want to tell them all, But the truth is, there is light at the end of the tunnel every single time.
Get that totally. But that's amazing. I mean, I did not realize there was so much oppression over in France until you and I spoke. So, for
You
some,
know that French is like what it for years, and it's probably still is the country that used the most antidepressant. And as a French person, I can tell you that I've never been that depressed as when I'm in this country, and that's why I tried to flee. I tried to flee this country for 15 years, and God was like, "Come back," and I came back, and He was like giving me a job here in the north of France, and now because I'm on this soil, on this earth of the north of France, which is very special that I didn't know about. That's the first time in my life that I'm settling somewhere and still I have to fight for my right to stay in my own home to the point where the landlord come and bang my door crazy. I put salt. I put salt at my doorstep to protect myself from whatever. And it's a woman here who told me that. She was like, yeah, put salt in your bath and stuff. People are spiritual. I don't even care where it comes from. I was like, I'm just going to put salt so as no bad energy can enter my house. I'm lighting candles and stuff. My mentors have been giving me this kind of advice. And to be honest, I have to admit that I didn't really believe in that kind of stuff, but I think it works. I really believe whatever you can use to believe everything's going to be all right works.
definitely. And then I think that you hit the nail on the head. It's like you have to make sure you believe, and you believe that God's protecting you and that He's sending those angels to help you because they're both human and also the spiritual ones. And you're getting protection from God. I mean, and as long as you believe in Him, you get that. So you get His protection. So, and I think that's important that people understand that it starts within your heart. What's in your heart? The people can go crazy, huh?
Can you see the heart up there? It's a bit far.
It is a little far, but let me see. Oh, I see it. Yeah, that's so sweet. Did you design that or?
No, you don't have Primark in USA. I don't think does Primark exist in USA. I don't think so. Do you have Primark?
What's it called?
Primark, Primark. I don't think you do.
I don't think. I think it's unique to France.
No, no. Oh, it's definitely not French. It's an Irish guy who did that, and I discovered it in UK,
Oh,
but then it became bigger. So now you have it in Europe, definitely. But I'm not realizing that maybe
not in the US that I'm
I think
aware
it's
of.
not outside of Europe. I'm just realizing it right now. I never questioned myself about that before, to be honest. It's probably only in Europe, but anyway, I bought that there. That's I think they're promoting also some designers, and this is made of half of plastic, recycled plastic, and it's amazing. Wait, I didn't want you to cut you up because you were saying something very important about believing from your heart, but you know, when I started my Only the Brave challenge, that's something I'm wearing. So that's the same designer, and he made that out of hard plastic, and it feels really good. It's really comforting and stuff. So that's something I'm also wearing for the challenge I'm putting on myself, the Only the Brave challenge, OTB #OTB challenge, for me to remember that I can be alone physically, but I'm not alone, and I wait for my brave sisters, and I don't have to settle for anybody. So I'm wearing this a lot lately from this designer. I don't remember his name, but he's pretty amazing. Keith Ham or Annie, I don't know. But you were saying that we need to listen to our hearts. So that's why I was pointing at the heart there.
No, it's true. But we need to listen to our hearts and what God's message is for us. And in order to do that, you have to keep an open mind and just be willing to believe in God. And it starts with your belief. So that's just a quick little message I thought might be helpful. And looks like it relates to what you believe in too. Believing is key. It is. It is. Because if you don't believe in God and you just ask for a bunch of things, like protection or whatever, He may grant it to you and He may not, but at the same time, because He's a loving God, He probably will. But at the same time, He wants to have your heart too.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. So the heart is the center of belief. So
Yeah.
but anyway, so there you go. Some message for today. But
Yeah.
I am just really quickly, I'm a business mindset coach. I help, what is the word I'm looking for? I help freelancers who are either executive, um, they either work as an executive for their business, either for on their own or for other people. They're freelancers, so they work independently. They're not part of a company. And they also, I work with online business managers as well as project managers. And what I do is I help, and I can work with other niches as well. But those are the ones that I find seem to come into my program. But I have a business academy, and the business academy helps you with, if you're in the process of if you're working by yourself and you're ready to hire a team, we help you to find the team. Like, we help you to figure out what it is that you want as far as the tasks are, the priority tasks are that we want to get off your plate and hand to a team member. And we help you to properly find them, interview them, onboard them, train them, and create a training program for them so that they know what your standing order procedures are and workflows are, so that once you get them on board, you don't have to handhold them quite so much. And that way, it really frees up your time to focus on your zone of genius. Because let's face it, we don't have this time to devote to learning absolutely everything. And it helps to have a team to help. I can get more done because I have a team to support me. So, because everyone says, well, how come you get everything done? And at the beginning, I'll admit it, I was by myself. But once I started having some support, outside of that, it made a huge difference in getting more done. Because otherwise I wouldn't be able to accomplish as much as I have. So teams are important. The other business I do is I am a podcast consultant, and I help coaches. Podcast consultant. I help coaches with basically the ideation, then planning stage of their podcasts. I also help them with generating more camera confidence, so that if they're a little shy on getting on the camera, but it's one thing when you're in a group setting, it's another thing totally when you're staring in front of a camera and you're trying to talk to somebody on a podcast, and it's like, you don't know who your audience is because you can't see them, because you're behind the camera and it's not a stage, but technically it is a stage. You just don't realize that it's a stage. So I help them with getting over the camera, their fear of the camera and the tech. So I teach them how to use it, so they don't have to worry about, teaching the man to fish kind of concept. So I help them to teach them how to use it, because after the 3 months of working with them, they will be able to handle the tech and be able to do all the things they need to do behind podcasting. So I also help them with creating their content for their scripts, so that they have clarity on their message. Because it's really important to know not only what to teach them, but also what it is to do for your call to action, so where they can go and follow up with you. And so those are the two main businesses I offer. I also am a international speaker. I help with a lot of summits. I also speak at summits, as well as an author. I wrote a children's book in 1989 and got it published in March. And it's about destigmatizing learning disabilities and helping to teach children to overcome their learning disability, and helping them to basically, and like I say in my podcast, I say, turn your talents into a career and help us to focus more on your talents rather than the things that you can't do, and really focusing on helping you to make better choices as well. And instead of lashing out, redirect those feelings. So we really love working with children and adults and parents and teachers and anyone who's a caregiver of a child who has any kind of learning disability. So we highlight those people on our podcast, as well as focusing in on the books. And it's going to be a book series. I'm in the process of actually working on developing a video game, reading curriculum video game. So I'm hoping to get that launched in the next 2 to 5 years. Partly based on income and partially based on concept. And so I'm in the concept stage of that. So it takes a while to get some things. That's a bigger project. So that's an area I am more geared, that I have to get the understanding from my son, because that's his area of expertise, not mine. And my son's 16, for those who in high school, and he's incredibly gifted and talented. But anyway, I'm just in different ways. That's game design is just not one of them. So that's when you bring in experts like a team member who understands all that. So those are some of the projects I'm working on, and amongst others with my business partner, who's in Australia, and lovely person as well.
What
So
time? Sorry, what time do you talk to your business partner in Australia? What is the time that works both for Australia and USA?
we usually start chatting somewhere around between 8 and 9
8
in
and
the
9
morning.
in your morning?
Mm-hmm.
When is that?
And
What time is it for you now?
it is what time is it? Because I have it on full view. Sorry, allergies today.
Is it 8:48?
It is
No?
8:48. Yeah.
So that means that's the time you would have a meeting with your Australian partner.
Oh, chat. Just chat. And we just chat.
Okay, because I'm trying to figure out a good time for this circle where the Australian people can also join. And that's what I was thinking, that this might be early for USA and a bit late for Australia, but if we all make an effort, I feel like this time would be the best for the entire.
It's 7 a.m. in Australia right now. So it will
7 p.m. maybe 7 p.m.
It'll be 7:48 a.m. in Australia.
a.m.
Yeah, he's in Brisbane, so he's on the eastern part of Australia.
It's night time for Australia, or maybe I'm confusing
No,
AM and PM.
I am back. It is 11:49 p.m. So you are probably
yeah, they're definitely ahead of us, and it's not that late for them to be tomorrow yet.
Right. And
I
when we go
lived in Melbourne, that's why I know. I lived there. So I just don't remember how I used to communicate with people, because that was like 5 years ago. And then I lived in America. I lived in too many places, so I don't remember. That's why I'm like, hey guys, use your Google Calendar, because I am not making those calculations anymore. But I used to live in Melbourne, and I think I don't remember, we're probably on the same time as Brisbane anyway. But that's why I know it's night time for them. And I don't want it to be too late, because people don't want to, yeah.
Right, but at 8 o'clock, you'll be there 11 o'clock. So it depends on what time they go to bed, because some people go to bed early. So you're probably off doing something as early as 7 a.m. Eastern time for at least 10 or 6. But you will probably not get as many people from the US because it's like early morning hours for us, because each time zone is going to be an hour behind the East Coast.
I'm gonna do 2 or 3. I think I'm gonna do 2 or 3 different times throughout the week, because that's something I'm happy to try on Mondays, because it helps me start my week personally. Then on Wednesdays, because Wednesday is a day I use to give back. So on Wednesday, I'm happy to give back and do. I usually do this more for younger than me. I want to give back to the next generation, but I can make an exception if it helps some other people from somewhere else on the planet, or on Saturdays, because Saturdays is kind of a day off, day work. I think it's a good day also to chill. So I'm gonna see, depending on who joined the circle and how the vibe is and what everybody feels, what we can do. But I want to make sure we find a time where we can be together, because I feel like what we just did today, like the more we will be, the more people on the planet will be represented, the more Woumb of the planet will be represented. I think the more power it's gonna get, especially if we have different cultures, different religions, different beliefs. It creates something even bigger, because all those cultures and beliefs are all together. That's really my vision. And then I love how you always present all the business that you have and stuff, because it really helps me as well. Teach me how to do the same with mine when I'm gonna get back at it, like probably next year, from next January. Right now, I don't want to put pressure on myself on that, so I'm really grateful for this. We have 4 minutes left. Do you want to close up? But before I let you close up, because I really want to let you close up, first, do you allow me to actually share that video? Or are you not comfortable? I can only share my part in the beginning, but do you allow me to put that video on my YouTube channel or not?
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
So I'm going to share that video and use it to attract other Woumb people who want to join the circle. That was my first question. And would you like to animate the next one, maybe, or something?
We can certainly talk about that. That's fine. And I have a really good short script that's really good for introductions. I actually did my very short one-liners. Well, it was just a few lines, but but at the same time, you could do as 2 or 3 lines that keeps it short and sweet and to the point.
Yeah,
So I'd be happy.
I used to have mine too. I just don't use it anymore because I'm trying to get off my business mind. But I just
Right,
appreciated that you did it. No, I'm gonna ask you about that in January. Now I'm really into don't get into business for me. I'm like, don't get too much into business, but I
right.
appreciated how you did it.
I
I
try to
really
keep it short and sweet and to the point, basically, is what I'm
that's
saying.
important. Yeah, that's good.
Yep. So no, that's help. As long as it's helpful, that's fine. So yeah, I'll be happy to share that with you. But as far as I know, I just prayed that the more people can join and share their story. I'm sorry I'm coming on with a very powerful story today. That just literally happened last night. So it
Yeah.
was prevalent and on my mind because I just found out this morning when I got up.
Mm.
Um the reason why I was late was because I was finding that out. But that's
Okay.
okay.
No
So
pressure. This is a non-pressure group. The only big rule in this time is no pressure. And I feel like I think I'm just gonna let the slot open. Like when we agree on a time, like we did, I'm just gonna let the slot open. If we come, we come. If we don't come, like I really pray this space is for us not to have pressure on nothing. And I think at
right,
some point I'm also gonna invite us to have a non-apology rule. And like every time you apologize, I don't know, you pledge €1 or something, and then with the money, we offer ourselves a spa treatment or something because we're apologizing so much. So I came up with that idea too. Like every time somebody apologizes or is like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm late or whatever, you'll just like pledge $1 or $10. And then at the end of the month, I don't know, we use the money to, I don't know, do a spa treatment or something. I don't know. That was an idea I had because I was like, we women, we apologize so much.
no, we do, and but I also get that, and honestly, I get that from my father because he was exactly like that. So I feel like that's where I get it from. So and not saying that I'm making that as an excuse. It's just you learn by example, and sometimes your examples aren't always the best examples.
Ah,
So anyway, I just sent you
absolutely.
the value statement.
Thank you so much
Yeah,
for sharing your
that's
value
not that
statement.
one I don't want shared yet because it's part of my course, but my business course. But I will be happy to share it with you. So it is a pleasure to be here. I appreciate what you're doing. I think it's a really good, safe space for us to get to know one another. And I pray that you can grow and get more people to join. And I think you're right. I think offering it at least a couple of different times to allow different time zones to come. But that means you're going to be needing to be clear about which time zones you want to target.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna figure it out with the women who has been responsive yet. Make sure I send you an email. Like first of all, I'm gonna try to find where we can be kind of a chat group, so as we are all in the same place because you guys don't know one another as well. And I feel like for now it's being one-on-one with me. But I'm sure we're gonna figure out with time. We have less than a minute, so I don't want it to cut it like that. I want to thank you. I want to thank God, the universe, everything for those amazing vibes, and we keep all this in our prayers. And I'm confident that whatever happens, the light is going to be at the end of that tunnel. I'm very confident about that.
Well, you have less than a minute, and it's been a real pleasure. And thank you for inviting me. And like I said, I hope you get more people coming on, and it takes time to
Yeah.
grow a group.
Yes.